Hi there, my name's Lucy and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've not met me before, I am an entrepreneur and I'm based in Gainsborough, Lincolnshire within the UK. I have a hub here, I call it the Creative Wellness Hub, where I teach people all the lovely crafty things like sewing, quilting, bag making, dressmaking. We get involved in yarn, I love yarn, and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I do for a living. I'm also a fabric designer for Craft Cotton Company, amongst other things, and a bag designer and guest designer on our TV programme here in the UK called Sewing Street TV. So that's a little bit about me. But why am I here today? I hear you asking. Well, let me tell you. It's because I am rubbish at sewing just for me. I spend all of my days here teaching, designing, getting excited about the next big thing that's just into my brain. And then when I go home, I am knitting. I've got lots of projects on the go. And rarely in all of that time and amongst life and looking after the kids and my puppy Hannah, who, by the way, is not a puppy, she's 1.5, but she will forever be known as the puppy. And I object. If anybody wants to question me about that, okay, I will send the big wolves for you if you want to start challenging me. She's my golden retriever. Anyway, enough about her. I've got a husband, so amongst all of those other things, I am finding less and less time and space before we even think about energy to sew just for me. But that sewing is what lit up my fire, isn't it? 13 years ago. And I want to pull myself back to that place. And I thought if I do a YouTube video like I am doing today, it would help me keep track of where the gaps are, how little time I do make for myself, which will hopefully throw me forward and say, no, no, Lucy, make something, sew something, enjoy something just for you. So that's what I'm doing today. So if it sounds like your cozy cup of tea to sit with me for just a little while and hear about all the things that I have been making, I plan to make, and any of that good stuff, stay with me. So let's move on. This is going to be a typical format. I'm going to be talking about the things that what I'm wearing, what I have made, what I plan to make, which is mainly things that have been cut up, ready to go for a while, and maybe some of the planning for the future. So let's make a start, shall we, with what I am wearing. Now, before I go there, and this is going to segue into what I've made, I have a story to tell you about this top. Let me show you. This is she. I don't often walk around like that. This is Edie. It's got a tie back. It's got some, has it got some darts? No, it hasn't got some darts. It's got these beautiful big sleeves, and I put elastic in here. Very, very simple, made in this black linen with some self-binding on it. But let me tell you about the drama of the top. Edie, Merchant and Mills. I'll make sure I link all these things below, don't worry. I taught this as a class maybe 6 weeks ago, and in advance I cut the said top out in advance because I thought it's a smaller class. I'm going to make one myself as I teach it. I don't always do it that way, but sometimes if I want to be a bit selfish and make something for myself, it's quite a good way of teaching. So I call it a I do one, you do one. So I make a stage, I demonstrate it, you go and make yours. And at the end of it, they're happy, they've all got their tops, but I'm happy too because I've got a top. So anyway, I cut this out well in advance and put it away into my cupboard. Along comes the day, couldn't find the top anywhere. I kid you not, I stripped this room down. The cupboards were emptied. I couldn't find it. I'm like, what have I done with that top? For weeks on end, the lady would say, did you find the top yet? Can't find it. No idea whatsoever. Roll on to this morning. I thought I'll go into my wardrobe and I'll pull out some of my most latest things that I've made to show you guys. And I thought, what's that? and I parted the rails and out came the top. If there was any questions about the health of my brain and memory, the evidence is all here to show, because I had made the top. The top that I've spent so much time looking for was made and hung in the wardrobe, never worn. When did I make that? I have no idea. I mean, I'm not one for believing in fairy tales and the elves and the shoemakers, but I'm seriously starting to wonder if there is somebody that maybe creeps in here at night and finishes off these little projects. Um, so I have my top, I have my black linen top, and I have to say, I really like it. Like I say, it's the first time I've worn it. It's not a terribly hard make, I have to say, but there's lots of key skills in it. I think what's great about it is it hasn't got things like darts. It's got some nice shaping to the hemline. There's extras you can do to it. So, for example, I've got another one in big, not tartan, what's the word I'm looking for? You get the idea, tartan check, whatever. Anyway, that's in linen. But on the cuffs, rather than elastic, you can do them with a keyhole, and then you make self-binding, and then it comes out and you can do those up. So I've got that one as well. I didn't do it with this one. Oh, look at me. I didn't do it with this one because I really wanted it to just sit, because the other one, what I tend to find is that you're forever sort of, dropping those tassely bits into the water when you're washing up and such like. So yeah, I've gone simple on this one, but I really, really like it. It's quite a nice length. It won't tuck in. I mean, it kind of does, but it'll soon pull out again. But I really, really like it. It's just cool, comfy, and it's going to be ideal for something else I have in mind in the future. So anyway, moving on. So that's the Edie top. Moving on, in the what else I'm wearing is, again, something that I have recently made, and that is my jeans. And these jeans, I forget the name all the time. I'll verify in a minute, but I think they're called Noah. I can't remember. The tilly and the buttons. Let me stand up again. Oh, shall I stand up on the chair? Naughty, naughty Lucy. But these are them. I've got big pockets here, and I've put all my labels on. It is a traditional fly front. Very well fitted, very wide legs. So these are nice and loose, but nice and fitted where you want them. I did have to do a sway back adjustment on them and lots of shaping, because I have got proportionately a smaller waist compared to my hips. But I'm really, really pleased with these. The fabric, I wish I could remember where I got it from. I really don't know. But I had a nice spare bit, and one of my ladies took one of the remnants and she made herself a little phone things bag, which is one of my patterns. So these are those jeans, and I will come back to those in just a minute. So that is what I am wearing. So now let's go on to things that I have made recently. So, things that I have made. There's not an abundance. I'm going to show you 3 things, I think. Oh no, 4. 4. I'm going to show you 4 things. 1 is a selfish make. 2 was part of, and the other 3 were part of teaching. But again, that idea of I make one, you make one, because there were things that I kind of fancied, Let me show you the selfish make first. Let me go grab it. Do I make other people's bag patterns? But when my friend Eloise came to the hub with her bag, I thought, now that's a bag that I like. And strangely enough, it's Merchants and Mills, and it's called the Factotum. So, notwithstanding, I made myself one. This is all materials from my hub. It's a nice canvas ochre colour, which I just adore. Very simple construction, in that you've got this sort of folded over edge, which is not sealed down in any way with a clip. I think there's lots of opportunities to increase this, do more things with it. And then 2 big pockets here. So, I mean, I don't keep much in it, standard poo bags, because as I mentioned, I have a puppy. And then inside the bag, look how cute is that zip? Stay still. There we go. Inside the bag, I use this beautiful gingham fabric. Tiny, tiny checks. There is nothing to mention in here at all. It's a very simple bag, but I did add just a slip pocket to put my keys into, said keys. But there is nothing more to really say about this. It's a very, very, very basic pattern. Did I love the pattern instructions? No, I did not. Oh my God. I don't want to speak badly because I'm a bag pattern designer myself, and I know that things are open to interpretation. But I thought there were lots of things about that pattern that needed a bit more work doing on it. The diagrams, there was one that was it felt like it was wildly wrong to me. But nonetheless, I got there and I have myself a factotum bag, which I do use and I do enjoy. So that is make number 1. Make number 2. I think this one was called the Tony shirt. I made this because I was teaching it at a shop I teach in, and I thought I had this fabric, little peek, in my stash, and it was to make myself a dress. Quite frankly, I wish I'd stuck to plan A and saved it for a dress, only because I made the shirt, I made a whopping error on it, but overall, it's a beautiful shirt in my opinion, but I made it for my husband, and my husband doesn't like the collar, so he's not going to wear it. So that's that. But I still like it. I still like what I did there. Here we go. The Tony shirt. I have added on these lovely buttons here. I think they look really nice. It's got this row of top stitching that the pattern does not call for, but I chose to do it because I thought it'd look quite nice, some extra details. He doesn't like this collar. He feels like it's just too wide for him. Well, actually, when I questioned him, he said he just doesn't like this style. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? So he prefers the traditional sort of collar and stand, which is fine. Duly noted for the future. Look, I put a little label on it. It says speedy make, which it was. I got it all done in a day. So, no harm done. And like I say, it was more of a teaching reference. It's just a straight back. There's no yokes. And again, typically he would wear a shirt that got a yoke on it. Short sleeves. These are a great length for short sleeves. The length of the shirt itself, I actually took it up. It was far too long for him. And I think that's something maybe for the designer to think about, because he is a tall man. I think he's maybe perhaps not taken that into account, because we did adjust some of the others that we did as well. The whopping error is I put the flipping buttons on the wrong side, didn't I? And I realised as soon as I put the buttonholes in. So what's my plans for these? I actually don't have one. Had it been smaller, because this is my colours, I would have worn it, quite frankly. It's more like an open jacket, but it probably is a bit too big for me as well. So the jury's out. I'm not precious. If I need to cut this and reuse some of the fabric, then that is what I'll do. I'm not. It's neither here nor there. Do you know what I mean? It won't go to waste, because by the time you open these sleeves alone from the underarm, that's quite a good piece of fabric to use. And obviously, because there's no yoke, that's a big fat piece of fabric to use. So am I sad? No. Am I disappointed? Perhaps a little bit. Did I enjoy the make? Yes, I did. Did the ladies enjoy their shirts that they made for their husbands? Yes, they did. And so did their husbands. So overall, we just need to move on. So that is the Tony shirt by Tony. So that was make number 2. So let's go on to make number 3. Make number 3, it wasn't something that I was teaching. It was something that Kathy taught. Kathy loves to sew. And she was teaching it here at the hub last week. And I just thought, do you know what? I fancy making one of those myself. So I did it in advance. And again, I don't know what went on, but I made a tiny little error, but I've overcome it. And I have to say, I love this. Now, it's a Donny shirt by Friday Pattern Company. And I've made a lot of these in the past. They're great shirts to make. They're very easy to make. The collar construction is very similar to how you do the shirt I've just shown you. There's lots of lovely features about it. This one I did extend the length of. So here we go. That's my Donny shirt. I added in where you get your short and lengthen. I think I added in probably about 2.5 inches to this one, because it's usually quite cropped. And I thought this would be lovely, which it is, to sort of tuck in. It's going to be nice with shorts in the summer and such like. I made it because I sell the fabric and nobody was buying it. And I just felt like maybe people might see childish in it. And I don't think it is. I think it is for children, but equally I think it's for adults. But just with these little scribble marks, I think it's gorgeous. Where I went wrong was when I joined this section here, and I've never done it before. You're meant to sort of stop sewing here, and then the facing comes down, you sew across, so the stitching is as it should be. I just went too far down. So when left open, that's a little bit revealing for me. But no bother, all I've done is a little whip stitch just to hold it. So I've kept and maintained the keyhole because that doesn't trouble me at all, but it's less booby flashy. I added in my pocket because I think that looks nice. And I did, can you see the stitching here? I just went up, across and down as little triangles. So we've got one pocket in there and a little tag just there. I like to pop those in because I think they give them a little bit of interest. It is a burrito method, meaning that we've got a yoke on the front or the inside and on the back. And on the back, I've put a Love Yourself Revolution label on it as well, just give it a bit of interest. And then you've got this little bit of gathering down the centre back. It's an incredibly comfortable make, this is. If you haven't made it, I would recommend it. So can you see that if I put that side to side, it's coming down a little bit longer, only a little bit, where it normally sits right on your sort of upper hip area, making it that bit more difficult to tuck in if you prefer to wear in that way. So that is the Donny shirt by Friday Pattern Company, a tried and tested. I've made it lots of times now. I love it in cotton lawns, in just a simple cotton fabric like this. I think they're the only fabrics I've made, but time and time again it comes out lovely. I made it once with a pair of shorts out of Debbie Shaw's fabric for samples to go on TV for her, and that set I wear as pyjamas. So great little outfit and easy to make. Finally, I did a quilting weekend. It was a quilted jacket weekend. It was a good few months ago now. And although I made this a while ago, I wanted to show it off to you because I don't think I've ever shown it on social media particularly. And it's a beautiful make. So we made the tamarack. I say we made the tamarack. The choice was to make the tamarack jacket by the Grain Line or to make the BB jacket by Sew Girl. And I had an even split between people making BB or the tamarack, but I made the tamarack in advance. Now, when I offered the weekender course, the suggestion was to keep it relatively simple. You know, don't push the boundaries too far, but I want you to learn the basics of making a quilted jacket, but understand that there is lots of room to go and to grow into if you decide to make this jacket again in the future. So I wanted to make them that sort of inspirational piece. Now, caveat, I didn't make all of it. My mum got involved in this. I gave her the pattern pieces and all the fabrics, and I asked her, with the fabric that I gave her, I asked her to prepare oversized panels. So for example, the back panel, I cut out the back panel of tissue paper, and then I cut out fabric for the lining that was bigger than that panel. Then I took the two fronts, cut them oversized. So she was working to a shape rather than, here's 2 meters of fabric. Can you please go quilt it all? Send me the quilted sheet back and then I'll cut it out. I didn't work that way. What that allowed us to do was to create a bit of symmetry in the sewing. So I gave her some of the chambray that I sell here. I chose a colour for the lining for that. I gave her some of the teal Make and Believe organic cotton, and I gave her 2 packs of 5-inch charm squares by Tilda. This is all in my absolute favourite colours, and she put those panels together. They came back to me, and then I did all the cutting to make sure I got the symmetry and the shapes I wanted. I made it all, I did all the binding and got it to the end line. So very much a collaboration between me and Mum. So once again, Mum, thank you. You did a fantastic job. I've done the quilting on this. The admiration for it has been astounding. And yeah, definitely something that I'm very proud to own. So here we go. Let me stand up. This is my tamarack. I've done it without pockets on this one. I really didn't want to cut off any of the details. Got some Hannah hair in there, I'm afraid. So that's the front and that is the back. I gave Mum the inspiration of how I wanted it to look, and then she took it away and did obviously all the piecing together for me. Mum is exceptional at her piecing, I have to say. And then, like I say, I brought it back and then I did cut out the shapes And then I did all of this embroidery on it in these sort of negative spaces, which really, really brought it to life. And then this is the front. Like I say, it's all been bound, but I bound it in the same teal colour. And then on the inside, I bound it with the chambray fabric. So even when we turn this inside out, although I wouldn't choose to wear it as a sort of a reversible, if you were so inclined, you could. And that is what some of the ladies did. They made it so they felt that it could be reversible to them. So that is it inside out, as it were. And then you see the blue feature. The only thing you would see is that bit of binding there and a bit of binding down the side. But all very, very neat, I have to say. So that is my tamarack jacket. And they are the 4 things that I have made from start to end in the last couple of months. Now, bearing in mind, if we think that there was a time not so long ago where I would have made 4 things in a week, that's not really the sewer that I am anymore. I was always keen to have a me-made wardrobe, and I still am. But I also want to be thoughtful and not wasteful with my fabrics. So now I don't buy loads. My stash isn't huge. If you're interested, next month, which is, where are we now? November, it'll be in November, I am doing a live interview with Yvette from Stash Hub that talks about, well, we will be discussing my stash. So if you're interested in that, do stay following me, contact me on Instagram, where I'll be sharing information about that when the date is available. So that is my makes. So I guess we're now at a point where we need to think about, well, what is it that I plan to make now and into the future? So I've cut out a number of projects, and I'm going to run through those with you. Remember, these are all personal projects, not projects for work. This is all about comfort, this make. I've never been into sweatpants or leggings or anything like that. Anybody that knows me knows, like, it leaves a shudder. I don't like things like that. But I think that the longer I have been self-employed, working for myself, coming into a place like this each day, and sometimes I can be on my own, comfort it's much needed. It's interesting, actually, isn't it? Because for years we've been wearing these tight jeans that squish us in and we can't breathe and our legs feel like they're suffocating. And now all of a sudden the style's changing. And I would definitely say that I have changed with that. I mean, I'm much more aware of what I do and don't like now. But I do think that being self-employed has given me some sort of creative freedom as well, and expression. And with that has come a little bit of comfort, I can't deny. So going back to these jeans, they're much looser, so comfortable. And of course, yes, they're on the list to make more of them. But the other thing that I found that I'm wearing when I'm home, they're not leggings. I don't know what you call them really. They're like a lounge pant, like a stretchy knitted kind of. I got them off a TikTok shop. I can't lie to you. They were cheap, but you know, they're really comfortable. And I thought, maybe I'll make myself a pair. Why not? How hard can it be? So I went through my patterns and had a little dig around, and I came across a pattern. It's a simplicity. I forget the number of it, although it's on the floor in front of me. Very basic. You've got a front and a back. That's it. And then you sew in some elastic on the waist. And I thought, do you know what? I've got some ribbed fabric. I made a live video not so many weeks ago with the same fabric making the Freya sweater by Tilly and the buttons. Why don't I make some bottoms to go with it? So whilst I was waiting for my microphone to charge this morning, I thought, right, let's get going then. And I've got the front and back sewn together. So I'm going to sort of show you these part made. I mean, there's really not much to them. Literally a front and a back. Let me come closer so you can see the fabric. So that's it. They're just a knit in a very soft corally colour. Hopefully they're going to stretch enough over my butt. Who knows? We're going to find out later on. Very simple, but I just thought, you know, I think they're going to be ideal just for wearing around the herb when I'm home. Big cozy jumper on. They'll be all right. And if they work all right, what I might do is even make another pair in some sage colour I've got. Maybe widen them towards the bottom, so a bit more bell. I don't know. So very, very simple make. I mean, to sew these sides together on both under 10 minutes, and it only took me that long because I was messing around with the needles trying to find the right one, because you'll know that when you work with fabrics like this, you'll need a ballpoint or a jersey or a stretch. Obviously, I've only got the jersey here and it didn't like it. Ironically, because of that, I went and just put in a standard needle and sewed beautifully. So who knows, eh? So that is make number 1. Now make number 2, and this is where I can verify the name. The jeans. So here they are. I have another pair cut out. So let's verify. Thea. They're not Noah, they are Thea. So I've got my zip ready to go. These are going to be in just a black fabric. What can I say? They're just black. So the kind of details we're talking about in here are they've got, oh excuse me, they've got a dart on the back, which is really good for shaping. I have already cut into it that I need to do my narrow back adjustment. Nice wide legs. We've got all the pockets. So the pockets, I've got 2 denim patch pockets for the back. And then for the front pockets, I have cut out this fabric, which is just some remnants off my shelves. So you won't see that really. And I think that's all I probably need to tell you about those. So Thea is a Tilly in the Buttons pattern. You can make it in a crop length if you wish, but I am making the longer fit. So if you look on here, the pink, that's more akin to what I'm making. Now the pair I'm wearing, I didn't make the belt loops, that's a word, the belt loops, because it really didn't need it because they sit so nice. On the back you have the choice of patch pockets, or you can actually do a welt. I've done the patch pocket because I do tend to put my phone in there quite a lot. It goes from a UK size 6 up to a UK size 34, so incredibly inclusive. I wouldn't say this is a hard make at all. Yes, you've got your fly front construction. I would say if you're like me, do all the fly in one go. Make sure you've got a good hour, hour and a half. Put the time aside, do the fly. Walk away, go and have a drink, rest, whatever you need to do, a little lie down before you move on. It's the bit that I don't say it doesn't catch me out, but it's a bit that there's way more pieces to it than you might have originally thought. But the instructions, as always with our Tilly, she sets them out extremely well. We have the lovely page for the jargon buster that explains everything. You get your good lay plans. So yeah, it goes for all versions. You need pieces A to K. So what's that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So 11 pieces all need to go together. The rain's hammering it down out there. So 11 pieces need to go together, and then an optional pieces if you want to do those welts. The instructions, I cannot say enough about Tilly's instructions. She's so clear. Her photography is clear. I don't mean this in a horrible way. This is what I need. She writes like I'm an idiot, and that works for me. She writes her instructions like she's talking to just me and there's nobody else in the world, and it really, really works. So yeah, I don't think there's anything more that I can say other than it's a great pattern. Go for it. Don't be scared. I think you'll be happy with them. Let me bundle that all back up together. So they are on my list to get on with and get made. The final thing in my it's been hanging around list. Oh no, there's 2 things. Let me come back to this. Let's come to Tilly first. I am also making the Sunny jacket. Now, the reason why I'm making the Sunny is because I'm teaching it. It's going to be a 2-part class at another location. And because it's a big make, this one, I wanted to make one in advance. But I already have the Sorrento jacket by Sew Over It. So I didn't really need another one for me because that, again, it would be wasteful. So instead, I've done a bit of a deal with our Pippa who comes to the hub, and I'm making her the jacket. There is a little bit of a tete-a-tete situation, but I'm making it. I've done half it already, ready to take that half to class 1 so people can see where we need to be by the end of class 1. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to make part 2. So let me grab it and I'll show you it. So it is in a traditional denim colour, and I've gone for all of the stitching in it. So this is where we're at. So if you ever need to know, this is what I'd expect you to make by the end of a day one. Fronts together, the backs together, all top stitching done. Pockets in place. Labels, obviously. Taller pink fabric there for your buttons. And then you'd optionally put in your button there. Interestingly, there's some on this pattern she doesn't do that, which I don't know why. I would be tempted, but anyway, we'll see what it's like when it's done. So this is the Sunny jacket. It's not too difficult, I have to say, again, for the same reasons that I've already said about Thea. The instructions are very, very good, very comprehensive to follow. It's coming together beautifully. You don't have to do all of this stitching. You don't have to do any top stitching at all if you don't want to. My biggest piece of advice is to use a clapper. Obviously, a clapper means that it's a block of wood, basically, in case you don't know. But it just means, as I always teach this, it's going to squish those seam allowances much flatter. So denim is obviously quite bulky, and you'll press the seam over so all the seam allowances will go into one direction. But to make it even squishier and flatter, so when we top stitch, it makes it easier and breezier. What we do is you get the iron, you put it on top, you go with the steam, you remove the iron quickly, you put the block of wood down. And what that does is it traps the heat, doesn't burn any fabric, and then that's allowing the heat to do its job, which is penetrate and squish down. They are exceptionally good. I've had my clapper for years now. I might just show it you just so you can see it that bit better what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about a block of wood, it is a block of wood and it can't spoil. So it's heavy as well. So you down, block of wood down. So it's going down onto your surface there. So where it would be like that, imagine that's the depth of your fabric, it would squish down like that. Literally, it would go really, really flat. So your finishing is much more beautiful. It's much easier to work with. And like I say, when you're sewing through all of those layers, because at that point you'd be talking about up to 4 layers of denim, you want to be getting that heavy top stitch thread through, it's going to go easy breezy. As long as you're using the right needle, which is obviously a jeans needle, because your top stitch thread is so much thicker, you're doing everything to make the job so much better. So that's a Sunny jacket, like I say, that I'm teaching first classes in just a few days' time, and then we're going to have a few weeks off, let people do their homework, come back, and then we're going to finish it off. So when you come back next, you'll be able to see my finished Sunny jacket, which will be ready for gifting by then. So we're on to the final piece. Now this piece has been hanging around like a bad smell. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed. I am making the Aura pattern, Orsa pattern. I can't even read what it says. I'm making that pattern. So I think that's really bad idea to write a pattern that you can't even read the name of, but there we go. Now this is a vest, if you like a quilted vest. So like the jacket, but it only comes round like a waistcoat, if you like, a gilet, little tie front details. And that's all I wanted, with some little pockets on the front, maybe a little bit cropped. So that's what I've been wanting to make. And that's what's here. So why am I grumpy? I tell you why. Fabric was at a premium. I wanted to work with scraps on this one. So this is a scrap piece here that I'm about to show you. I had some Lady McElroy that I could cut up, and I had to be really careful with it. And I was dispersing it with this fabric, which was spare from another project. I can't remember what I used it for originally, but that was spare. So I had to piece all those together, again, roughly around the shapes that I wanted. Again, look, there's another piece. And then I wanted to line it with the fabric. Now the lining was this fabric here, a very pale blush pink Dobby print. Now, now I'm telling you this all wrong. Telling you wrong, I apologise. The back inside panel was that. The inside fronts was to be that, because I didn't particularly want it on show, albeit it can be reversible. What I wanted on the outside was this fabric, which is a Merchant and Mills fabric, which I think is just beautiful. And when quilted would be delicious. So let me show you. So this panel's done. So that would be the inside. And some of you will be saying, no, have it as your outside. And that would be the outside. Okay. So the inside is a mishmash, which is creating one problem. I then started cutting the panels down. And on this piece, which would be a front panel, look what I saw. Can you see how the colour has changed down here? Fuming. That's what I was, absolutely fuming. But I got it from a shop in Lincoln. And it was just like a little 1 metre piece. And I thought, there's nothing I can do. I can't go back. There's no point in me complaining. I bought it a while ago now. There's nothing I can do. But it's literally put me on hold because I don't know what to do about it. I'm going to finish it because I'm not going to be wasteful. I love that Lady McElroy. But it's definitely just put me on hold. I think, see, this piece has been quilted. Not finished, but I started it. So can you see I've still got to do these ones. So I think what I need to do is finish the quilting. I imagined I stopped because I sulked. Finish the quilting, cut the piece down, maybe look at even cropping it a little bit more, having a look at maybe some of my, I don't know, my stash, see if I can maybe make a patch pocket for the front or something, maybe like a slanted pocket, and see if I can disguise it a little bit more. It's going to get made, it's going to get finished. I am not wasting this fabric, but it's definitely had me on hold sulking. So I've thrown that on the floor. So that is all my projects to do that I really want to get on with. So now we are on to my plans for the future. This is going to be an easy section for me. I have no plans. I have no plans. There's lots of things that I would love to make, but I have no need to make. So, for example, I'm looking over there and I've got a range of boucles. And I'm thinking, oh, the Pogonip Friday Pattern Company. I love that pattern. I could do all this colour placement work and such like on a sweater. But the truth is I don't need one. I'm doing hand knitting. I've got sweaters. I've got the scout jacket, the cozy scout jacket I made out of fleece last year. I'm still wearing that. I'm still loving it. So why keep making things just because I can? I don't want to be that person. So I think I'm just going to follow my nose and keep making things that other people want me to make. So making them to be inspirational to them, but making them for myself to fit my body so I can wear and enjoy them. I haven't made any dresses in ages. I think I probably will do as we start coming into spring, mainly because I have got 2 holidays very close together. I'm going to Crete and then I'm going to Kent. So although it won't be hot when we're in Crete, it will be nice and it'll be warm. So I'll probably make some, maybe 1, 2 flowy dresses. But I made 3 Luella skirts over the summer as well. And they'll be beautiful to take away. So again, I don't want to be wasteful. I'm going to be finishing my jeans. Then I'll have 3 really good pairs of jeans in my drawers. I'd like maybe some pants. When I say pants, I'm talking about trouser pants. And I've got some beautiful ochre and white check. They're about 1 inch square. So maybe the Pomona pants or something like that. Or the bob pants. Very simple pants with an elastic waist is kind of what I'm thinking. That would be good. Maybe a couple of t-shirts could do with adding into the wardrobe. But other than that, I don't have any great big plans, which is not such a bad place to be, is it? I mean, I will make things. People will give me their ideas. And if you've got any ideas of what you would want to make for a sort of a spring holiday, then, and you think, oh, that's just a piece of Lucy, that, then please let me know. I haven't gone to any shows this year at all, you know, like the NEC, Knit and Stitch, or anything like that. I made myself a 2025 goal to not go to any shows because I didn't want to waste my money buying more fabric that I didn't really need to have in stash. So my cupboard that's got my personal things in, like I say, I'm going to talk about that with Yvette on the Stash Hub live chat. I'll go through it then, so look out for that. But yeah, I just don't want to be wasteful. I would quite like to make there's a saltwater slip by Friday Pattern Company. I'm thinking maybe I could make one of those as a skirt, so like a bias cut skirt in a sateen. But yeah, inspiration is not coming and whacking me in the face right now, so I'm just going to run with it. It doesn't have to be dressmaking. There's other things I can do. But no, I've enjoyed what I've made so far. These things down here I showed you, my completed makes, I'm very happy with. I would rather make less, but make quality pieces that I'm thrilled with, that I know are going to stay with me for a long time. So I think that is all that I have for you today. My next video that's all about me will be back to knitting. So each month I plan to rotate. So one will be about knitting, the next will be about sewing. So my next sewing video will be in 2 months' time. So that will be December. Wow. But my next knitting video will be in November. So you can see about what I've been getting up to there. I've been very busy. But in the meantime, I thank you for being with me today. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Please do consider giving me a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed what you've heard today, and keep feeding your comments below about all the things that you're making, what you would want to make for your perfect summer holidays, albeit in the spring. And I will see you again in the next one. But for now, thank you. Stay warm, stay cozy, and enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. Bye bye, everybody.